greatest.
It's a beautiful set today. Wouldn't you say, Emiola?
It's a different settings to what we are used to, but it's a good thing to always test new waters, and I guess
of
that's
course,
what
we always do with every new episode. I mean, since the beginning of the show, right? The greatest show. We're here. We're back. Full sets, beautiful sets, different colors.
Yeah, different
status of different personalities. I mean, everywhere is just so lovely, and it kind of smells. It smells like food, though, but I don't know how to describe that. But everywhere just seems so beautiful and colorful and smelling nice and tasting good as well.
Tasting good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in my own sense.
Okay. Let's just be clear.
Yeah, it's tasting good now. I mean, however a thing might be to you, you would, just give it a word and describe it as you feel.
That's true, though.
So the greatest show, we are here. The A-Team squad, we are here. And the G4 squad as well. Yes, sir.
They will never know. They will never know.
You guys will never catch a drift of what that is. They will never ever know what that's all about. It is what we usually do to get our guests excited and at the same time confused.
Like what's that? What are they saying? What?
Like, so let's go again. The A-Team, we're here. And the G4 squad, we're back.
Yes, sir.
I mean, unfortunately, we're not gonna be having King David in the house, who is one of our co-hosts as well. He's busy out there doing one or two things just to get the buck and get the money.
Yes,
you get me? So as you all can see, we have gorgeous personalities in the house. To my right, I have the amazing personality Hammy Trendy here.
A round of applause.
And I have
oh my god.
I have Adefola, right? Afola Shade, Mrs. Raf Ben. And to our far left, we have the Honorable Mr. L, Mr. Lanre Oguntuase. It's an honor to have you in the house, right?
Finally.
And finally, who?
Him. Having him in the house.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
I thought when you said finally, I thought you were going to mention yourself. Like,
I
finally what?
Finally,
we already used ourselves. Why would you say finally? Yeah. So, Emiola, what's up? What's going on?
You mentioned their names, right? So, but I want to give a little bit of insight into. I'll start with Hammy Trendy because you mentioned her first. Miss is not Mrs. right? It's Miss Hammy Trendy.
It's an AKA. So
yeah, she's a little bit still in the single market, but.
Oh man,
am I right? I'm trying to like put out.
You wouldn't want to see that face.
Don't worry, it's not GG. It's just So she's an air personality. She's an event planner. She's the convener of Stick to. Stick to Lyrics, right?
Why wouldn't I? If I say I don't know and she go kill me, like, why would I say that? Why wouldn't I know?
She is an artist manager as well. In case you are an artist and you're looking for a quality manager, holla at us and then we'll give you the plug to Hammy Trendy. Mrs. Afola Shade Raf Ben. Did I get it right? Okay. She's a public health practitioner. She's the co-founder of the chosen Inspira.
Man,
sorry, my bad. Inspira.
Have you ever heard that word before? Inspira. Have you heard that word before?
No, never.
Oh my god, every day we learn here, man.
Inspira. Okay, in case you don't know what Inspira is, it's a non-profitable organization. She put it there. It's focused on empowering people, adolescents. Okay, it's not everybody that can benefit from that. Okay,
to your mouth.
She's a business owner and she's happily married.
Hey,
glory, hallelujah.
With the pink shirt.
And last but not the least, we have the amazing Mr. Lanre Oguntuase, aka Mr. L in the building, who is a writer, a teacher. I've always known Mr. L to be a great writer, right from the time that.
Yeah.
I don't know why he doesn't have books out there. Like, why don't you have? Okay. He's an expert in the aviation industry that involves airline ticketing and travel consults, and he is also happily married.
Hey.
That makes me feel like I'm
now to the rest of us that are
like I'm not
still
serious
there
in my
in
life.
the pool of I don't know. Let me not confuse everything.
Full everywhere, like.
I'm telling you, they're just swimming everywhere. 3-2.
That's a majority right there.
Oh, I got you.
So let's start with Mr. L. Please tell us a little bit more about it. We already give an answer. Just
tell us about the aviation
industry,
industry, and what you do basically. You would have to put your mic. You may literally have to swallow it.
Well, there you give the overview of what I'm in or what I do. So the aviation industry is a global practice, and it is a huge industry featuring various departments. So as a writer, that skill also finds an application in the area of communication, because we have aviation, an area that relates to communication in aviation. So some travel networks, the same way we have telecommunication networks, we have some travel networks that facilitates, the selling of products that relates to air travel, such as tickets and all that. So those departments, those networks, they have media crew. So, and what they do is that the members of the media crew, they sensitize the travel public, regarding the prices and the locations, and then how they can facilitate unforgettable experiences, on the part of the traveling or travel public. So that's for that. And there's also this department, airline ticketing, stuff. We have airline ticketing. Then we also have tourism management too. They are related. So I'm consulting in general. So that's that about the aviation aspect or the aviation angle of it. Yes, a writer. I write, and a writer in a sense is also a teacher, because since teaching has to do with disseminating knowledge, it could be in a written, in a verbal, non-verbal. Yes, non-verbal writing. So I teach through writing, though I have taught too in an organized structure.
Wow,
so
that's deep.
What I do are interrelated.
Wow.
You have a vast of knowledge and exposure in so many.
He's just took us.
If we spend the whole day talking about you, we are not going to leave this.
I swear to God, he just took us to another universe with that explanation, right? It was just so into deep.
Mrs. Afolashade
Rafben. I don't think you're pronouncing.
Am I getting it right?
You have to
I just want to be sure. Rafben.
It's not Rafben. It's Rafben.
So I shouldn't use the whole of my
you have to familiarize it. Rafben.
I shouldn't pronounce it like I'm from Amuluko or something. Okay, Rafben. Also, tell us more about yourself.
Okay. Like you said, my name is Mrs. Afolashade Rafben. I'm getting used to the Mrs. part. And firstly, I want to say thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be here.
You're welcome.
All right. Like you said, I'm a co-founder of the Chosen Inspira. Inspira. That's what CAC can do to you. From inspiration to Inspira. Okay, so it's a non-profitable organization that is focused on adolescents, in school adolescents, out of school adolescents, adolescents in shelter homes, all encompassing, empowering them, teaching them skills that outside of education or school they can put to use. I'm also a business owner. I work with an NGO that shows selected people system that they can use to generate capital for any business or project that they have.
She's a rich woman.
Yeah, she is. She is rich. Anybody that teaches anybody how to make money is rich.
All right, and I'm a public health practitioner by profession.
We've got so many
deep people
minds in the house, man. So, Hammy Trendy, what's up? I see you just been relaxing and just,
I'm just being.
Put your mic on.
I've been observing.
You might have to literally swallow it.
Okay, I should swallow the
No, don't swallow it.
Put it in your
But if I'm
mouth.
holding it like this, it signifies something else, Well, anyways,
Let's go there.
I get it.
Okay, so I've basically been learning. That's what I've been doing. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
So go ahead and Mrs. Hammy Trendy, ladies and gentlemen.
Why would you say
Hammy
Mrs.?
Trendy.
She's
Hammy
AKA.
Trendy is Hammy Trendy. There is no Mrs. No Mrs. There is no auntie.
Okay.
There is no uncle. It's Hammy Trendy.
Why would anyone want to call you uncle though? Like,
Why would anyone want to say Miss Hammy Trendy?
No, it's just, I don't know where that
to
came from.
clarify that. Yeah, that's it.
I think it's the way I was raised.
To
I was
respect
raised
people
to-
naturally,
No, not
right?
respect. Just
To
give
them
them,
do
just dash
It's
them.
a sign of respect if you add Mrs. to anybody's name.
No, I don't
Is
think
it?
so.
Like,
I don't think so.
They are trying to be polite.
Well,
Yeah,
it would be
it's
a
also
sign
a
of
sign of
Does being
respect.
it would be a
You're
sign
being
of
respectful.
respect if you're a Yoruba person, I guess.
All right, that's a shade.
Mrs. is not a Yoruba.
That's kind of like a
No,
shade.
that's like you want to say it in English.
Your mic, please.
Mrs. is a title.
Yeah.
So as long as that title remains attached to their name, they are entitled to be so addressed. Mrs. Because your status changes when you get married.
So it doesn't even matter if it's an AKA or whatnot.
It's
if
not
it's-
an appellation.
All
It's
right.
not an alias.
No,
The title
AKA is Ali, also known as.
as alias, also known as.
Yeah.
But Mrs. is a title.
Okay. But he
And
just
there's a condition
addressed
for
her as.
Mrs. My
Miss.
bad. Can we move on now?
Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
He doesn't want to smoke.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Hammy Trendy, please tell us more about yourself.
Okay, I think you already said much about me.
All right.
So now why did you have to sit
Expound
down?
now. Like, every one of them just like described what they do, and it just like it took us to another planet. Like, so we want you to take us there. Where should we go now? Like,
Okay,
Venus.
where do you want
No,
us
I
to
think
go?
Maybe
start
Mars.
by
I mean,
figuring out.
Elon Musk wants to
Mars.
take everybody to Mars, right?
Mars, no, I'm not going. with
You're not
you.
going.
No.
You
you
don't
go
want to
to
see
Venus?
aliens.
Pluto,
Pluto.
like the far end.
Nah, I think isn't Pluto the one of the
Coldest.
planets that has 12 moons.
No, I don't think so.
No,
Is it?
that should be.
I'm not familiar with all
Saturn.
those things. I don't bother my head.
No,
with all of
okay.
those. We are never going to go there, so why should I bother?
Please take us to. I'm trying to please take us to Disney World then.
Wow, I love that.
Okay, Disney will be cool. Disney will
Very
be cool.
cool.
Yeah.
So I'll be Cinderella with a glass slipper.
So you've always wanted to be Cinderella. That's crazy.
Okay, so where do I start? You basically said everything, I think. So, like you stated earlier, I'm a media personality. I work on radio, work on TV, and also, well, like I said, it's more like I'm repeating what you've said.
Yeah, you have a show though, like in this
Yes, I
in the
have.
city that has been running for over like 5 years. Stick to the lyrics.
Yes.
And each and every year it keeps growing.
Yeah.
And I've attended like 2, and it's quite interesting, like very big.
Thank you, gracias. So I also am into talent hunts.
Yes.
I said earlier, I said I'm a talent hunter. If there's a word like that.
Maybe your great grandfather used to be on
If there's a word like that. Okay, so I actually, like you
So
said,
what do you hunt
it's-
though?
I hunt for talent. Talent.
What type of talent?
Great talents. Great ones that can shake the world.
A rat,
Okay,
mouse.
So Stick to the Lyrics is actually a musical show where we have talent in music actually, not
Yeah.
we're more
discover
focused
new
on
guys who are
music.
coming.
Yeah, so basically it's a platform where people can network, where they can meet other people in the media industry,
Yeah.
contest, win a prize, and if you don't win, you can get to meet someone who would be interested in your craft or who could support your craft. Like I'd say, like it's not about the winning sometimes. People
course.
win and then when you trace their what's it called in few years to come, they have not even left where they started from.
Wow.
While some people did not win, but they
And
were
they
able
won.
to make great so it's a networking platform where you can, as a talent or as a normal person who comes who has just come to enjoy his or herself can meet someone who would be interested in your craft or who is interested in sponsoring your project, whatever. It's just a platform for people to network and discover talents.
That's cool. I mean, you've been to one of our shows, right? Oh, really?
So it happens annually.
Maybe the next one we're going to have a ticket.
I'll be glad to have you.
Right. She's taking us to the Disney World.
Yeah, baby.
Right. So this is the greatest show, and as we always ask you guys, please help us please say that.
Yeah.
Help us share,
Subscribe on YouTube, share.
To help us share.
Okay.
Just share.
Please share, and comment.
That's it. That's it. The greatest show. We're taking over. We're going everywhere, all over the world. We've been to Mars. We've been to Jupiter because of some of our guests. They've taken us and we have just arrived from the Disney World.
No, we're still going.
We're still going.
Yeah.
Literally.
We have not even gone. Have we arrived?
All right, we're still
just getting started.
Got you. Hope you guys are having a great time here.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Feels good. I'm meeting
your
one.
mic. Yeah, I know. This stress, right? This is what.
Okay,
I understand. The reason why we started using these mics is because just for quality of our voice, right? We wanted to come out to project better. We would have loved to use maybe in the next episode. We're still evolving anyway, so please just bear with us, guys.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the next time you're coming around,
hello. Okay, I would have to hold it like this.
Yeah. Just hold it.
Okay.
But we are not going to that place that you first thought about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, this is the greatest show.
Yes.
So on the show today, right, like myself and my co-host, we always have discussions behind the camera, right? Okay. We talk about he's more into content creation, right? Me, I take care of wave sound. You guys know what that is?
Wave sound.
Yeah.
Sound
waves, whatever. However.
Wave sound or sound wave.
As long as sound is involved.
As far as there's a wave and there's a sound. Right. So behind the cameras, we always talk about life issues and the social happenings and what is going on around.
Yes,
so that was what actually birthed the show, right? We just want to talk about, at the same time, one blow show. Yeah, that kind of thing.
That's very, very easy.
Not C4 though. Not C4. So I think it was last week. Oh no, not really last week. We've had a conversation around paternity test.
Paternity fraud. Yeah.
How some women, not all women, have been taking out.
You see what we are talking about?
Yeah.
Every time they hear women, just
right. So
switch up and look at you what have we done this time?
Right, right. So where some women and some men have been unfortunately denied of their, birthright, for lack of a better word, where married couples, the men have been taken advantage of when it comes to the production of babies, right? Right.
Now that's funny.
Yeah,
production of babies.
Production. Yeah. They have a company.
I mean, Mr. L, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, you're on point.
Your mics are.
Production of babies. That's weird.
Production is synonymous with generation.
Exactly.
So it's still in line.
Production of babies.
So you just
manufacturing of babies.
So you can say to your wife let's produce a baby.
A more appropriate term will have been reproduction.
Yeah.
But at the same time, once what is meant is understood.
Yeah, that's the word. In my field, though, what I do is more production. Seriously, paternity fraud. We're talking about how some women who have been involved in it should be held responsible and be, charged. Yeah. For taking advantage of their supposed.
You don't want to shake that table.
No. It's not about shaking the table, though. I mean, it's been happening.
Yeah.
That some men will just get to know, maybe when the child becomes 18 or 25 before they now figure out that that child is not theirs. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So we're just talking around it that should there be some punishment for it? Because I mean, as a man, I'm concerned though, right? It's painful to you as a married man. How would you feel?
It's not in my name.
Yeah, I would have to do
because
it.
it's not what anybody could have anticipated.
Yeah, exactly.
So it always comes as a shock anytime it happens.
Yeah. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, it's not about agreeing at this point. It's about the fact that you're saying, should there be punishment to it or not? You should also understand that I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying it is right to bring another man's child to your husband. But I'm also trying to say that if there's going to be punishment, then men will be more punished than women. Because a lot of men in their marriages have extramarital affairs with kids, and the wives do not know. So women have grown so strong to the extent that when they say, your husband has a child outside, even though it will hurt you, but over time,
expected to accept.
The society has expected you that he's a man, you're a woman, you have to accept it. So when we're talking about punishment, their punishment would be
in heaven.
Not in heaven, yeah.
That is.
It's the same thing. I feel it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It is not the same thing. How is it the same thing? Because when a man has a child outside, that is his child outside. He cannot bring in the long run.
When a woman has a child outside, that is her child outside.
This is it. No.
It really
it's the same thing.
It really happens.
It's just because this society has made it a norm for a man to get away with such things.
Let us check and balance.
I think everybody should hold their mind.
It really happens.
Let us
a
check
woman
and balance this thing.
Okay.
If a man has a child outside, let's say he has children outside, in the long run, the woman gets to find out they are his child. Not like somebody you have been nursing a child for long, not knowing the child is not yours. It's very different.
That's the difference.
It is very, very different.
It is not very.
Now
very
the thing is I've always said it. See, because we are all human beings. Sometimes when maybe a husband cheats on a wife, if you can't deal and you want to why can't you just leave that marriage? Just leave. I say it, if you cannot deal with the hurt of being cheated upon, nobody is forcing you to stay in there. I understand. But the thing is, you want to pay back your husband, right? Because he cheated on you. Now you want to have a child too. Then why can't you just go to, not like you bring a child from outside and then I'll be nursing the child, thinking the child is mine. It's not. Women try to justify this thing. It's not justifiable. Please, it's not. It's not the same thing. It is not the same thing.
Actually, it's not a nice thing. It's not a good place to be. That's talking from the standpoint of the man.
Okay.
But for a woman to actually do that, like you said, maybe the man, Yoruba will say, has poured water in the front. So she wants to serve him breakfast.
Okay.
So although the act itself is not is bad, is outrightly bad, but for a woman to do that, we need to know the background story.
Yeah.
We need to know what happened. And for a woman, it's not easy for her to have a child outside because she have to carry the child with her. So she can't just put the child in one box.
So she would have
outside.
to
She have to bring
it in
somehow
to the marriage.
Because it's with her.
And lie to the husband that this is.
Because it's not. She doesn't have to lie though, because she wouldn't expect that this child my wife is carrying is not mine. Would I have to ask my wife like, no. You expect like the Nedu's case that the ex-wife was now saying because we are married, he was overthinking because we are married. He expect that the baby is. Would I ask my wife, Alpha, the belly who you carry? Am I the owner? No? Does that even make any sense? Why we are living together in the same house as man and wife? Do you understand? So
what would you say, Mr. L?
Well, it is not to be encouraged, really. But if we are still talking about a condign punishment, a punishment that should go with such a thing, we also want us to, because before a woman can do that, some women know the reproductive capacity of their men. A woman will have known that this man is impotent, or because it is not always, or it is not even up to 7 out of 10 times that a woman will do that in retaliation of the infidelity on the man's part. Some women do that to help their and they do that to help their men. And sometimes, out of 4 children, when the DNA is conducted, you discover that if not all the 4, at least 3 out of 4 do not belong to the man. So you know there is a problem with that man, and it is not a thing a woman can open up to a man. Okay, you have health issue in the area of reproduction. So
what if it's in the case of the man not having health issues?
There must have been a background story to why a woman would do that, because a woman naturally would not.
You guys are busting our head behind the scene. We're going to have to jump into this because 10 years ago I listened to a story. The woman had 4 children for the husband. The woman had 4 children for the husband. But what really got me upset, like got me mad, was the fact that, see, this is how I see it. If you have 4 children and the first 3 belongs to somebody outside and the 4th one belongs to your husband, I can rationalize it in my head. If the first one belongs to your husband and the last 3 belongs to somebody outside, I can rationalize it. But we had scenarios where you did, like, okay, you play first half, go break, come back for second half. So you have first one for someone outside, the second one belongs to your husband, the third one goes back to outsider. Some of these things do not really stem from the fact that you're trying to pay back your spouse for what they did. Some of them stem from the fact that you as a person, you're just a wayward person, you're just a loose person. And many of these things happen by mistake. You mentioned Nedu. Odate Lamte is a Ghanaian footballer who discovered almost 25-30 years after that virtually all the children did not belong to him. What do you do? Some of these women, for example, there is a research in the world that puts Nigerian women as the women that cheat most on the planet Earth. Jesus Christ.
How about Nigerian men?
Do you?
They
can never put us first.
That's crazy.
They can never ever put us first.
I understand that women are always gonna support their agenda.
No, it's not about support. It's actually a very bad act.
Yes.
Actually, it is. But I just know that there are sometimes, depending on the background story also, because you cannot just judge from the surface. You don't know what has occurred between the parties. So now, from his own point of view, what he said, like you have the first child, second child, third child for another man while you're married to that man, and then the 4th one now belongs to. I want to think that I don't know. I want to think that there is actually is it that she was forced into that marriage, or there is no genuine love initially, depending on the circumstances surrounding the marriage. What if he was not the person she wanted to marry, and then because of some pressure from some quarters she had to marry him, and then she was still in contact. She's still in contact with the person that she really wanted to marry.
So much contact that.
So she would a woman would know when she's pregnant now.
Definitely.
It's her choice to keep the baby.
Of course.
Yes.
So if she didn't want the baby in the first instance, she would have gotten rid of it. So she wanted it the first time. She wanted it the second time.
With that person
she wanted
outside.
it the third time.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So if she didn't want it, she would know now from the onset.
Yes.
But why did she get married to him then?
That's what I'm saying. Depending on what circumstance around. Some people got married not because they love their spouse.
I think I'm getting that from the point of an excuse, because if you're saying maybe that's not who she wants to get married to, so why did you not, like, the trauma that is going to be in that man's head? I don't know if you guys are getting it, right? That's what we're saying, like how painful that is going to be for the man, because the man has been unaware of what is going on, and he has been spending his hard-earned money in raising those children up.
It's not even about the money alone, the bond with the children.
Exactly.
Thinking they are yours.
So I mean, if we should be considerate enough, like, the woman is supposed to own up and say, you know what, like after the first act, and say, you know what, should feel some type of, you know, sympathy for the man, or feel some kind of guilt.
Yes. You know, I said it the other day.
Back to your question.
Yeah, okay.
You said, should there be a punishment for such acts?
Yeah.
I think for that to actually stand, every other thing, it should not be the one the woman is doing alone. That should be punished. Every other thing they have to do with infidelity. Okay. Like, it's kind of normal in our culture that almost every woman that's getting married is expecting a man to cheat.
Which is...
She will not be shocked.
Which is
why
crazy.
Is that though?
The community, the society.
But why would you expect?
No,
it's the society now.
An
average lady.
I think we're actually, I think we're expanding the net beyond the scope of the fish we like to catch. We're not dealing with infidelity. We're dealing with...
It's infidelity. It's still infidelity that brings about paternity.
No, it's not.
So what is it?
It's different. It's a different thing.
What is infidelity?
Okay.
Not being loyal to your spouse.
Okay, so when you have a child not for your husband, what is it?
Paternity.
That's a paternity fraud. It's a different. No, it's different.
If you were loyal to your spouse,
paternity fraud, that has to do with you having a child. Infidelity might just be maybe she slept with blah blah blah. It doesn't bring forth a baby. It doesn't bring forth a child.
Wait, no, infidelity brings about
now
about
we're not talking about a relationship. We're talking about a marriage. The people married and spend a whole lot, in the wedding ceremony.
Tbon,
right?
I think that you guys are sentimental because it has to do with the male folks.
Well, actually, like I was saying, that this was the conversation that we were having behind the cameras, right? And that led to this new discussion that we're supposed to be talking about, which is what should then men should look forward to in a woman before he says to himself that I'm going to get married to this woman.
If he gets down on one knee.
Exactly.
I also think that if we are not forgetting something here, I think I also remember the root of this our conversation. Yeah. The root of the conversation was a guy that went to prison for 5 years because he couldn't pay child support, and then when he returned from prison, he found out that the child on whose account he went to jail for 5 years was actually not his. And at the law court, the woman owned up to the fact that she knew all along that the child wasn't his, and then she allowed him to go to jail for 5 years. Now, this is the deal breaker. Whilst in court, she also made a revelation that very morning that they were to make appearance in court, she still slept with the man that produced the baby gaga. Oh my. So that was where we said, okay,
the man must have offended her.
Okay. See, that's what we are talking about. See the fraud there. What kind of offense is that? But look at it. Look at it. Somebody actually went to jail for not paying child support. And then because the woman knows nothing is going to happen, pata they will say, he's not the father of a child. Both of you can go your separate ways. Yeah. Nothing is going to happen. You understand? Now, not only are you hurting the man, you are denying the child their fathers. That's what you're doing. A child and a father that shared a bond for maybe 20 or 15, 20 years. At the end of the day, everybody's going to find out that we are not even related by blood. So not only, let's be realistic. Not only are you cheating those children out of their fathers, like their father, I don't want to have anything to do with that child anymore. I don't want to have anything to do with the mother anymore. If I say it to people, see, if you want to cheat, you are a woman, you want to cheat because I cheated, fine, go and cheat. But don't bring a baby home, nah. That's it. Don't get pregnant, nah. True. That's it. No, because let's say I cheated on you, right?
What she's saying is, if a man can actually go outside to impregnate somebody else, then the woman, if she feels like she needs to get back.
That's not what I said.
It's kind of like
I have not said that. I have not in any of my.
No, it's like it sounded like what you.
Saying that, no, that was not what I was portraying. I was saying that you were talking about punishment.
Yeah.
Then I said, if you're going to be punishing women for paternity fraud, then there should also be a measure that punishes men too for doing the same thing.
I've not said anything like maternity fraud.
Because it doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't happen. Because a man will not force a child on you.
Because we've never heard of maternity
A
fraud.
man cannot say no.
Okay, there was this story I read online. I don't know, one of these bloggers uploaded it. A couple got married, so they didn't have a child for a long while. The lady was well-to-do, and the husband was, I think, a civil servant, so he was still like trying to get things together. So, but the lady is quite
independent.
Fine. So she had properties, she bought things, and they were still waiting for a child. So this guy told her that they should purchase some properties in the name of their unborn children.
No, that sounds weird.
No, like they're expecting. So it's not like, this faith.
Oh, gotcha.
In quotes.
God will do it.
But was the woman pregnant then?
No, they were still expecting. It's not like, when they tell you in your church.
You're not even sure she has a womb.
They are just saying that.
Told each other
kind of.
they even have a name for them.
They even have a name for them.
No, but to go register a property in a name that is not existing yet, that sounds.
Well, with the mind that the existence of their expectation is certainty, they could.
So they went ahead.
The baby, right? The person is not yet here on earth.
They are expecting the person now.
That is
Okay, so they went ahead and did that. And I think they bought like 2 properties in 2 different names of babies that they were expecting.
Oh my
Which
God.
is suggested.
That they should. They were expecting those babies, so they bought it. I think something that happened to the husband along the line, I don't know. Something happened to him. Okay. So now it was then that it now dawned. Some other woman from outside now came with her kids. 2 children. Okay. With the names that they used in purchasing those properties.
Oh my God.
He had children outside. He had children outside. The man had children outside. Okay. So now they came to claim those properties.
Okay.
Now,
Hammy Trendy just needed to balance the rent.
No,
but that's still not it.
It's actually true. I'm not joking.
No, I think I heard the same story.
I just don't want to mention the blogger's name. It's a true life story. The person was asking for advice. Like what should they were calling on legal practitioners to actually come in. Because if they claim those properties now, it's more like a sweat. It's gone.
Yes. Okay, now, but
some men do the same things you accuse women of. It's only that women are now more stronger than men. Men cannot take half of what they do to women.
Oh, really?
That's it.
Oh, really?
All right.
Yes.
All right. Let's not go there. Like that's another topic for another day.
No, it's still the same topic actually.
No, but like
it's like a 1 in a million situation.
Exactly. Like,
but it still happens.
The reason why we actually came about this discussion is because we've never heard of the word maternity fraud before. Yeah. From where you're coming from.
It's not gonna happen.
Sorry, paternity. Sorry.
It is never going to happen.
Paternity fraud.
It is never going to happen.
Paternity fraud. So, it was in that line that we now thought about, okay, what are the things that men should look out for? To look out for before you now, finally say you want to marry.
It's not a man thing. It's not a man thing. I said, what are the things?
What did you say?
I said it should be a two-way traffic.
Yeah.
That it should be equally applicable to members of the same of the 2 genders.
All right. So that was why we now said, okay, what are the things that we should look out for then before we now say, okay, this is the person I'm going to get married to, from both genders.
Okay.
What would you say?
Oh well.
Your mic, please.
Yeah, because now over to you.
Now it is well known that some factors will necessarily put themselves up for consideration when we are in the process of choosing a life partner. But here I want to fix my focus on a factor that is basic and foremost, and on which the rest of the factors rest. There is not this one that rests on other factors, but the other factors, the rest of them rest on this, and that is yourself. And I will explain if I have the time to do so. You consider yourself, and it is in yourself in relation to your partner. But you should be the underlying factor that should, enter into calculation when you are deciding, or when anybody for that matter is about to decide his or her life partner. And what I mean by that is this: nobody wants to marry a member of the opposite sex, because the concept of the opposite sex itself it's not real. Like, man is naturally averse to anything that will constitute opposition to him. And in this case, I use the word man as a generic term that applies to both men and women. Man will want someone who will compliment him.
Of course.
So that's why I think we look for a member of the complementary gender, not someone who will compliment and not oppose. So, and this thing works, or the way this thing works is predicated on a kind of knowledge system, and I will explain. I want to get married. My genotype is AS, and I want to get married. Now, my knowledge of the implication of this fact will naturally lead me to look for AA to complement my AS in marriage.
So we're not talking about love here.
Love, not love alone. So it means that whatever my search, or whatever the object of my search is, whatever preferences I have, in view of this fact, I'm limited to a particular group of AA. So what I'm looking for, and it is because I put myself into consideration. So that's why. So if I now meet a lady, and let's assume this lady, beauty, intelligence, industry, all those things are her striking qualities, we connect easily, and we are getting along like a house on fire. But if she's AS, I'm AS, I won't be able to go. So someone will compliment me, and that is in that regard. In some other regards too, where I've seen a lady who is strong-willed, who is domineering, and this lady is saying that, okay, based on the fact that she knows who she is, if she's married, if she wants to get married, she wants someone with strength, because she knows that if she marry someone who over pampers, the marriage will not work. So you consider yourself.
Yeah.
It might be kind of sad, but you consider yourself, and it is in those areas where you are lacking or deficient, then you look for someone. So I think that should love and all those, and beauty and intelligence, of course, but there are underlying factors and associate with you.
So what you're saying, like rationally, one should check, like biologically, like that thing that is going to make them feel compatible.
Yes,
like,
where you complement. So you complement.
So love is actually not the first thing that one should.
Nope.
Not that love is not. Love is okay. This story of, I'm sorry, please just pardon me.
Right.
This story of Barack Obama. Before she met Michelle Obama, he was in a relationship with an Australian lady, Genevieve Cook. Genevieve Cook was charming. So if you want to look at it from the perspective of appearance, physical appearance, all those things, she was charming. And Obama was in a relationship with her for about 18 months, I think 1.5 years. So, but then he met Mitchell. He discovered that Mitchell was ambitious. Obama too was ambitious. And within a couple of months after he met Mitchell, and having discovered that this person will lend support to his aspiration, ambition, and vision, he left Genevieve Cook and went for. So it wasn't that Cook wasn't beautiful. It wasn't that Cook wasn't charming, nor that she was not a lovely person, or a lovable, or a loving person. But there are some things you consider in relation to yourself that inform and inspire your decision regarding you. So it's basically yourself in some areas.
So yourself first.
But that is not selfish, but yourself first, because that yourself, by the time you are able to find somebody who compliments you in such a manner and to such a degree that we shapen you and put you in the best position to serve or to work in the interest of that person, because you are then become a good husband, the best version of a husband that you can be. Then you can have function within the perimeter of the marriage, please. So that's what I feel.
And what about you?
When he was talking, I was thinking, why didn't I go first? All right. He actually mentioned some of the points I wanted to talk about. Yourself, because you are bringing yourself into this thing. It's not something that will happen outside of yourself. So I think you should discover yourself first. You should know yourself, know your values. One thing I tell my friends is, okay, I might not really know what will happen, but I know what I cannot allow to happen to me. So you know what you cannot take, know what you can still endure. No, someone was asking me, my pastor at home was asking me during our marriage counseling session that what is that one thing that, put love aside, what is that one thing that you cannot take? And he said, right. He was trying to ginger me to write. I don't have to think twice. I just wrote it straight. There's something that you should know you cannot take from a man. I grew up in a place that I saw a man physically abuse his wife for many years, still abusing her. And I grew up with the notion I would never, no matter who, even if it's Clark Kent, Superman, I would never marry a man.
But how would you know though? Like before marriage?
I would never marry a man. Not that
a man that
beats me. I won't forgive him in the first like it's the devil. No. So that's what I won't take.
What if he didn't show those traits while you guys were courting, in a relationship?
I was going to ask just that.
If he didn't show those traits, he would know. Someone that have anger issues might tend to
hit you,
and someone that probably grew up in a family where the father beats the mom might repeat that trend if he doesn't work on it, if he's not aware of it and consciously work on it.
But probably he might have worked on it, and in the marriage, right, he now had some midlife crisis because of finance or whatnot, and things started coming out, like that you didn't know were there before. That's what I'm saying. Like, how would you know?
But you always
see the red flags.
Yeah, people pretend.
You always see the red flags.
Yes,
you always you can ignore it. You will see.
I mean, if that's the case, then like the way marriages are breaking these days, right?
But I've read cases where people say it was not like that when we were caught.
Exactly.
You were not aware it was like that.
I don't know.
The love is blind.
That love is not blind. You just ignored it.
Exactly.
Because you liked the person.
How would you
know?
It's always there. There is no way.
When you started a relationship knowing what you don't want, you are looking out to see if it's there or not. If you just went to the relationship like, okay, I'm 25, so I should be in a relationship.
Because these days now, like you will say that like so many men, like maybe some of us, like apart from the economic crisis that we are actually facing in this
part of the world,
in this part of our world. So but you would still hear that a lot of guys are not ready yet, and so many women are now very independent. They can take care of themselves, are not even feeling like they don't even need men. Not that they don't need men, but like that desire of, say, they want to settle and have a man be responsible for them is actually not there anymore like it used to. So like women are now empowered. So if you check, I'm not saying that women shouldn't be empowered. I mean, it's actually a good thing for women to be empowered to be able to do things themselves. But these things now that they are now achieving is now making a lot of women feel like they can, just take care of themselves now. So why do we need men? I'm not saying
it's rubbing your ego.
It's not. That's not it. It's not
So, but
it.
what I'm saying is,
That is not
the rate at which people are getting married now, it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of like decreasing. You know, that's just what I'm saying. So, but still, before one, gets into marriage, just like both of you have said, and
Still saying, actually.
it's still saying, and and you mentioned that you wouldn't want to settle with a man who would
Know your values.
exactly.
Yes.
Well,
So
you
know what
wouldn't,
you
but
feel.
now there's some women too who would put up this act in the marriages in their marriages as well, like, and who would become what the man didn't think she was before.
Yes,
Right?
go both ways.
Yeah, so, but like, how would one know? How would a man know that? Oh, this woman, like, she's been so nice and kind, and but at the end of the day, in the marriage, so that was what gave birth to the idea of that paternity fraud. Like, so many things are now happening. You get me? Like, so how would one know really?
I think you should start the relationship prepared. You should go into a relationship prepared. I don't know, should I be speaking from the standpoint of a man now or a woman?
I don't know.
You are a woman.
Usually,
Speak from the angle of a woman.
yes, thank you. I've been a woman all my life. So,
I'm just reminding you.
so from the standpoint of a woman, is the guy that will come normally.
Yeah.
Is the guy that's supposed to come, or guys come, and you choose.
So that everything can be balanced too. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Like,
she mentioned 30 signs. She mentioned 30
Your mic, please.
Yes, sorry. She mentioned the red flags. And those things are always there, except we want to pretend they do not exist.
They are always there.
So the love is blind stuff. I think it is at that stage of the relationship that thing manifests. So those things are there. So it is now up to the two parties who are involved in that relationship to discover. Nothing that does not exist will now manifest in the course of a marriage.
Yes.
So that's my point.
Not that.
You have not said anything, have you?
Yes, because you are not asked.
Go ahead and say it.
Okay, the question again, so I know where to start from.
What should a woman look out for, or what do you think? What do you think a woman should look out for?
Well, like both, like they both said, it starts from yourself first. Like what you don't have, you cannot give.
Of course.
You have to actually love yourself first to be able to love someone else, right? Okay, now what should you look out for? Compatibility is very, very essential. Very, very.
But that compatibility, now he just mentioned something about the biological.
Yes, it's in different levels.
Yes, covers everything.
It's in different levels. But it has to. You just know that. Yes, so compatibility is very essential. You have to know if you and this person, even though it might not be 100%,
Yes.
but it should be above. It should be like a good standing, like 80% or more. It might not be 100, but you have to be quite. No, I'm just saying, like, it has to be a good standing. You should know that you can cope with this person. Nobody is perfect, right? But you should be able to know that you can stay, you can actually tolerate certain things.
Yes.
And now about the red flags, it's always there. People tend to waive them because they like the person so much and they don't. Even when it talks about the biological term, when it talks about the genotype, some people still want to waive it because they like this person. They know, but they want to risk it because they like this person. So if you now risk it and you say maybe because you have faith or something or this or that, and then you go into it, you might be lucky and it might be the other way around. These things are always there. An abusive person, you would know. No matter how he tries to control it around you, you will still
The way
know.
he treats people.
There is no way you won't know. You will see it. You can ignore it. People pretend, accept it. But those signs are always there. And sometimes they don't even pretend. You see it. And you still say he will change when he gets married.
I will change.
Or he will say
God will touch his heart.
or you say or even the person will tell you that don't worry, when you get married you will change. That's one chance.
Man,
So I feel
it's crazy.
so it's what you can't take in a relationship. you definitely will not be able to take it in marriage too.
And
So what you would not
amplify it.
Yes, because you are not going anywhere
Yes.
anytime. A relationship, you can decide to walk away. You can say you are not doing again.
Yeah.
Everybody goes their different ways. But marriage, and especially with the African mentality of, oh, you are married, you should not leave your marriage.
Yes.
It's causing a lot of damage to so many people out there. Okay, some people have made the mistake, they've married wrongly, but they don't want to leave because of this stereotype, stigmatization in the society. But if it doesn't work for you, if anything happens to you, nobody is going with you, it's only you.
Yes, sir.
So it's whatever works for you.
It's crazy though.
So it's quite wide. It's not a discussion of one day. It's a I don't know.
Yeah, because so before like the last one of the episodes that we did before, like when John Doe on Twitter says something about if she's
sleeps till 8
a.m. it's either she's lazy or doesn't rate you, and you would know when you get married. So these are the things. Like he just added that clause that don't worry, if you get involved, that's when
I think we were saying something the other time, like measuring or rating your relationship based on other people's relationship.
Yes.
Like somebody, like this person that you said now, who said if she's not awake by 8 a.m. then this, that. Or you see some things online and they say if she's like this, then this is this. If she's like this, leave her. It's not the same thing for everybody. You cannot judge her. You cannot. What works for her might not work for me. What works for me might not work for her. So you cannot say that this is the general term of. Somebody was telling me that he was trying to understand women and he was watching YouTube videos. How would you say that you want to understand women and you're watching YouTube videos?
Why would you even say that?
No, why would you? What's your
person is not ready there.
I don't understand.
YouTube videos to understand women.
Yeah, and I'm like.
Okay, good luck.
Okay, good luck. Because by the time you apply that to this one and it doesn't work with this one, you say no, she's not the one. You now move to the other one. You just keep going.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you just went out and you're back at point
I think,
zero.
I think at the end of the day, like what Mr. L said is, it has to start from ourselves, like you, the individual, like men.
So you won't even know who you are compatible with, if you don't know your weakness, if you don't know your strength.
Yes,
so you need to know yourself. Know that okay, I think. But knowing
oneself takes time, especially for men.
But you know yourself.
That's why self-discovery is a great task.
You keep knowing yourself every day, even you as a person. So talk less of your partner. You have not even understood yourself fully.
Yes.
Then you're understanding somebody else. Do you understand? So this thing is a lifetime thing. You have to it takes time. Yes, but at that point, you know that okay, this is how this person is. You can cope with this.
Yes.
This is what you cannot cope with, and
this is my strength personally. Okay, and this is my weakness personally. Okay, this person have a strength that I don't have. He has something I don't have.
Yeah,
okay, I think we can work together.
Like what he said about the lady who knows that she is the way she is. She knows that if she marries somebody that is maybe more gentle, it might be like she's manipulating him. So they'll feel like, your wife is just doing you anyhow. She's controlling. Like but if it's somebody that is firm, she knows that okay, even when she's going out of control, this person can still like call her back. Not even the harsh way. You just know that this person can still call you back to order because the person is firm. Exactly. But if you marry somebody that
will just allow you to be and let loose.
She will still cheat on the same man with another man who might even be less okay financially.
Wow.
Understand? Because you know that your man is not in charge, he's not in control. So I think
have the leadership.
The woman will still find her way to cheat.
No, it doesn't have to have that leader. That's what we are saying. No, it's different for different people. Exactly. You say it has to have that leadership. It's not like
someone who has the audacity to put you straight when you are going off the track.
Yeah.
So
that's
why is it that some good girls love bad guys? Because there are some things they see.
The guy knows how to check her.
So whereas
some people who are actually like to be with people who are calm. So when you are hot, the other person is calm. By the time that one it comes to his head.
Just the thing is, some women just want to eat their cake and still have it. That's the problem. See, at the end of the day, like you said, everybody knows what they want. I think that it starts from you knowing what you want. So go for that person that think you are compatible with, that can complement you. If that woman said the only type of husband she wants is somebody that is firm, that if she marries somebody that's a slow poison, like you said, she will still find her way because she won't feel fulfilled in that marriage. I'm not married though, but these are things we can actually technically address. You understand? We can technically analyze. She will still find her way to a man that has that quality in a man. So I'm trying to buttress where you said you can't really tell the background story of how people got married.
Yes.
In the case of paternity fraud, where maybe a woman later has children for somebody else outside, maybe she was forced into that marriage. I understand. So the thing is, women will always, just like men too, if there's a circumstance surrounding why I got married to this girl, she's not my spec, she's not my type, I might still go and look. I think that one is human. It's general with both genders. In the long run, everybody still go out there to look for what they want.
That's it. I think that wraps it up. Like, I think we've all agreed that, but for one to be able to find that person, the person has to know themselves first. Both ways. A woman has to know, like she said, if it's a firm person that I want, so you have to vet, before the eventual day comes, and and if it's someone who would allow you to be you, and that's it. And then
what about physical compatibility?
But there are some factors that should be fundamental. So other things will now be, because like someone who is AS now. No, I'm just.
You keep emphasizing.
That's actually a good point. That's a good point.
There are some people, before they consider any other factor, someone who is SS. If you come to me, you ask you, are you a? That's the starting point.
Wow.
It's not that she's not interested in other things. It's not that she's not interested in
the person, like she said, like the physical compatibility.
All those things are equally important. I mean, all those things minus the fundamental one, the rest are equally important. But before we can begin to talk about relationship, what's your genotype?
So let's say marriage, because relationship.
Marriage.
Some people are dating. This is when it comes to marriage. That's when you are like genotype. Yes. Some people just want to date to while away time. Some people just want to
while away.
So
until they are ready. So those ones might not really say, "Are you what's your genotype?"
Or your stage type.
So when it's leading to marriage,
that is.
So some women, like you are just saying, like some women will just come out straight. What's your genotype? So if it doesn't match, that's it.
Just discard.
So now, if of course, since we do not have that genotype, that genotype is not confined to one person. We have many people who are of that genotype. But before we can move forward, what if that is it? Then we can now talk about
some people are you Christian or are you Muslim? Like
that's the second point.
Don't let them bring it. And then compatibility, that she touched on compatibility. And I think that is
compatibility.
Yes. Compatibility in a general sense. Though we now have not necessarily physical compatibility, because the way we talk about it, we think something that matches or that fits. But the compatibility, because there are some concepts they may be difficult to explain, not in themselves, but in relation to certain realities. Compatibility is like, I know what I want to say, but explaining it is great. Now, let me say it is an element of communication. For example, a man in Tanzania wanted to press charges against his best friend for a breach of contract. Now, what was the contract? He hired his best friend to impregnate his wife. Whoa. He paid him for it. Whoa. He paid. Now, the man failed to impregnate because after 10 months he paid him. It was a contract. It was a contract. It was on Facebook.
See problem.
It happened real life. They went to court. Now compatibility here is that the man, after 2 years after 2 years of marriage, or 2 years into their marriage, the woman failed to conceive. They went for test. It was discovered that the man was impotent.
That's mad.
No, the husband was impotent.
Okay.
Now, he and his wife, they discussed it. Then they agreed that, okay, now that the man was saying to himself, now that I'm impotent, I have a friend. The man is a policeman. His friend is also a police. They live in barracks. But Tanzania, that place is fine. So they belong to the average class. They were comfortable. So, okay, my friend has a wife. My friend is married. And he has 2 daughters. So those 2 things have qualified
him as
the second man. Okay, he's married. That's an evidence that is.
His resume.
So now, let's approach this guy. So they called the guy, the second man. They called him. They had a roundtable meeting. Now I'll pay you. You impregnate my wife.
Hey.
You understand? And they had a agreement. The man charged. Said, okay, no problem. And the thing is that the man looked like the husband. That friend.
Wow.
They have resemblance, facial resemblance. So they knew that, okay, if he was able to get his own wife pregnant, if the child should look like the friend, of course, since he and his friend, they have the same facial. So, and they had an agreement. The man will be doing it with his wife 3 times.
Whoa.
3 days out
One in the morning,
1
one in
week.
the night,
3
one in
days
the
out of
afternoon.
1 week.
Okay.
So, and the woman, he applied for leave. She was a nurse, well paid. It was 3 months. So they knew that, okay, whatever they will be able to do in 3 months now. So after 3 months, so she did nothing in those 3 months than to make herself available for his husband's friend. 3 months was over. This woman, went back to work. Then, after 9 months, running to the 10th month, the woman was still.
Yes.
Then the man began to suspect that something was fishy. So he had to take that man to his doctor, and they discovered that the man too was impotent.
Jesus.
Now that discovery led that man to go and question his wife. Then the wife now confessed to him that it was your uncle. It became a case. So the first man was pressing charges against the second man for that I paid you now, you failed to execute the contract. And the second man too now had you with his own wife that you brought. So, but communication, which the first couple were able to, they talked. This is my problem, and let us do this thing. But it's only unfortunate that the plan failed. But if it has succeeded, nobody will have known. So that's another, though it might not be the best example of compatibility in a way, because they were able to communicate and this is what I lack, but you have the chance, to conceive. Let's do this. But it was because they talked about the paternal. So
that's compatibility in its own way. So I think we've come to the end of the show now. I think what we all have an understanding now that for one to be able to, not run into any of this, messy things about paternity or whatnot, or infidelity or whatnot, one should be able to understand themselves and know who they are before they settle to get married to their partner, so that in the future we wouldn't be hearing so many noise behind our back.
Justice for whoever.
So thank you very much, Mr. L, for coming to the Greater Show. Thank you, Fola, for coming. Afola Shade, for coming to the show. Thank you very much. Hammy Trendy, we are happy and glad to have you guys here. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
We hope to see you guys next time.
Yeah, very soon.
Is that it?
Okay.
All right, thank you. And thank you very much, our editor and our producer behind the scene, our technical crew. Thank you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our show, please. Gracias.